They told us, oh, your cows will be taxed, your goats, your chicken. The bill as it were on June 25th, 2024, we passed it in December. Nobody got hurt, as they were saying. Nobody died, as we had seen before. Because the campaign of disinformation had dissipated, we passed the bill as it were in 4 different bills, achieving the same objective without losses to the country.
In a surprising revelation, National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichugwah has confirmed that Parliament quietly passed nearly the entire Finance Bill 2024 back in December, just months after massive national protests had forced the government to shelve the bill due to public outrage. Tonight, we unpack the full implication of this above the silent passing of one of the most contested pieces of legislation, what it means to the taxpayers' political accountability and economic policy in the coming years. Back in mid-2024, Kenya witnessed one of the most intense public reaction to the government policy in the recent years. The proposed Finance Bill 2024 triggered a countrywide protest that turned deadly, with at least 50 people losing their lives in clashes between demonstrators and law enforcement. Streets in Nairobi, Kisumu, Mombasa, and Eldoret were filled with thousands of citizens, many of them young people, voicing strong opposition to what they described as putative tax regime targeting basic goods and digital services. The government, facing international pressure and local outrage, appear to retreat. The bill was suspended. Public statements from top leaders at the time suggested a willingness to consult further, to listen, and to revise. National Assembly Majority Leader Kimani Ichugwah has admitted that Parliament, working through procedural channels away and in from public scrutiny, passed 97% of the finance bill proposed just 5 months later, on December 4th, 2024. This action was taken under the cover of 2 bills, the Tax Law Amended Bill 2024 and the Business Law Amendment Bill 2024. According to the majority leader, the decision was strategic. The government asserted that the country was too emotional, charged in the wake of June protests, thus delayed formal implementation until the situation cooled. By December, the same proposal was introduced, appealed, slight altered, and passed without the public demonstration that had previously paralyzed cities and shocked the nation. Among the key provisions that were quietly passed include key revenue generating measures previously rejected or criticized by the public. However, some of the most controversial aspects were either modified or dropped. For instance, the widely opposed 16% value-added tax VAT on essential goods such as bread, cooking oil, and eggs were not included in the revised legislation. This marked a major concession, particularly to low and middle income households that had expressed fear of the skyrocketing cost of living. Additionally, the motor vehicle circulation tax, which had been termed oppressive by both consumer and transport stakeholders, was entirely removed. The eco levy on the diapers, smartphones, and other consumer goods were also excluded in the final December package. However, not all the taxes disappeared. One major item that remained was a significant economic presence, CEP, now appeal at a flat rate of 3%, targeting global digital companies doing businesses in Kenya. This replaced the earlier 1.5 digital service tax and the proposed 6% SCP tax, which had been perceived as burdensome by digital service providers and consumers alike. The government justified these changes as a way to strike a balance, ensuring Kenyans still collect revenue from the booming digital economy while avoiding overtaxing innovations. The tax law amendment bill also introduced a 15% global minimum corporate tax for multinational companies operating in Kenya, in alignment with global tax reform led by the OCDE and the G20. It also raised the threshold for allowance, pension deduction, and offer exemption for contribution made to the affordable housing program, offering some relief to contributors in the Middle East. Meanwhile, the Business Law Amendment Bill introduced most technical changes. These include updates to the Employment Act, particularly to reflect modern work environment like remote working arrangement and short-term contract terms. The bill also revised law governing special economic zones (SEZs) in an effort to make Kenya more attractive to foreign investment. According to figures released by the government, the silent reintroduction and implementation of these tax measures have already yielded significant revenue. By May 2025, the government had reportedly collected 187 billion in taxes under the provision passes in December. Officials claim these funds have been instrumental in reviving stalled infrastructure and developing projects, particularly in road, housing, and energy sector. The original finance bill had projected to raise 346 billion by the end of 2024-2025 fiscal year. By delaying its implementation between June and December, the government is estimated to have lost around 160 billion in potential revenue. Government sources now point to December quiet pass as a strategic success. But critics are not convinced. Many civil society organizations and opposition figures argue that the approach taken by the parliament undermines the spirit of Kenya's constitutional framework, particularly the provision around public participation. Questions are now being asked. How did the parliament manage to pass legislation of such scale without attracting attention? Where the public, the media, and the watchdog institution kept in dark intentionally? Was the process technically legal but ethically questionable? Parliamentary records confirm that the two amendment bills were tabled and debated through few details were publicly highlighted in the weeks leading to its passage. Observers say the language of the revised bills, while most tempered, was tense and did not allow alarm bells, allowing many of the old finance bill provisions to pass almost unnoticed. The quiet passage of 97% of the Finance Bill 2024 contest now set a new precedent for how government may handle contentious policies in the future. It also presents a fresh challenge for civil societies and the media how to monitor legislative action that may have a national implication but courts with a technical bill and amendment. Analysts believe the government may continue to use such strategies when faced with widespread resistance, especially on economical forums.